Hey, what's up, One Mic Nite artists? It's Marcos Luis here with another episode of One Mic Nite. Now, this episode is a One Mic Nite artist session. My guest today is a singer, songwriter, and entertainer, and you're going to love her. The music that you hear playing in the background is one of her songs. Her name is Ty Blue. So get ready for Ty Blue. The song is called Trust. It's one of the many incredible songs that she's written. And she is here today. And get ready. Make sure you stick around to the end because I got a special surprise for you. This is One Mic Nite. Get ready. Thank you for joining me. I'm Marcos Luis. We're coming at you now. Boom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In. The podcast that brings you stories of artists and people on their journey, helping to guide, answer questions, and motivate you in life and the business. You know who I am? It's Marcos Luis, and I'm here. This is 18 years of One Mic Nite, so thank you guys all for being on this long, beautiful journey with me. You see me with the live series, with the little small open mic in the West Village, to the nightclub, to now we're doing the podcast where we can document and talk to people for their inspirational journeys in music, entertainment, and social issues. Today is no different. My guest today is incredible. She is an eclectic soul singer, songwriter, fashion maven. She's everything. She can funk up the stage and let you down easy. Please welcome Ty Blue to One Mic Nite. How you doing, Ty?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Hey,
I'm
Marcus.
so happy to have you here.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you.
listen, I have questions.
Yes.
The first question is, who is Ty Blue?
Oh, Thai Blue is a beautiful mystery, but also open to those that's worthy to be open to.
Mm, mm.
I'm always very big on guarding your soul, you know, don't release too much and then you have to regret it later. So, but definitely a person that is creative, passionate for my people, stand strong for my people across the African diaspora, and a singer, songwriter, a mover, a shaker, a person who likes to create my own lane as opposed to waiting for a lane to be open for me. Hence, I have my own genre that I call Eclectic-Soul, and it's open for artists who don't like to be pigeonholed into one category per se, just kind of experience and take their audience on a journey with their albums and creative collections of work. So I'm a creative and I'm a visionary and just love life, cultural, all that.
You said a mouthful, and you are exactly all that. So listen, I want to take it back because before we get into all those things, I want to take it back to where you're from and how did you grow up and how did you become Thai Blue?
I am from New York, believe it or not. A lot of people tend to think I'm from the islands or England or some place else but here. But
Mhm.
I am from New York. I represent three boroughs. That's Harlem, Bronx, and Brooklyn, but Brooklyn is home to me. Um, and yeah, I'm a city girl all the way,
What
but
was
adaptable to countrysides and nature and all that stuff. So
I like that. That's a lot of things. But how did that all come to be? Because we know New York as, a city that's thriving, pumping, has potential, possibilities, it's all those things. And you seem to have captured that just in the few minutes that we've talked. So
Hmm.
where did that all come from for you? How did you absorb all those things and then just present it?
I am just open-minded. I'm just naturally open-minded to a lot, and I'm very observant and very aware as much as I possibly can, and I'm always paying attention to a lot. And I take in what fits me and I leave what doesn't. I always say I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. Like
Mm,
everything of this world is not for me.
yeah,
And I really, like I said at the beginning, I guard my soul and I don't let myself be too open to just everything, but I look at things for what it is, whether it's right or wrong, left or right, up or down. And I just know what's for me and what's not for me. And as I just move through life as anyone else, you just get a better grasp on what works for you and what doesn't, what feeds your soul, what doesn't. And I just stayed very, very adamant to making sure I stick with what feeds my soul. I'm not interested in being a part of the cool kids. I make sure I am the cool kid.
that's
You
beautiful.
know?
And
Yeah.
so the thing I guess I want to know is where does that come from? Because a lot of people in life, just, not necessarily in entertainment, but just in life, we're looking for the point where we can find one, our purpose, and two, ourselves. We get to a point where we can just say, that's not for me. I don't need to be a part of the crowd. I can do my own thing.
Hmm.
Where did that come
Yeah.
from? What point did you find that out?
Well, learning about the music industry definitely had a part to do with it because there was some ups and a lot of downs when I was actually looking for a record deal. And as you know, today in 2024, artists don't need a record deal. Prince is one of my favorite artists of all time, of course. He set that path of like do it yourself, the DIY movement, so now here we are today, where you don't really need a record label. And when I was chasing record deals and things like that, and just seeing the ups and downs that comes with it, the no's and the yeses and the maybes and them not knowing what to do with you and, putting you in a box and shelving you or whatever. You just learn not to chase fame anymore, but success should be the aim. And there's an audience for everybody, regardless of what facet of art you're into. You find your audience and you just cater to that. And so I learned from things like that, from doors being shut in my face or people not knowing what to do with me, but give you all these praises and things like that, but yet still you're just sitting there collecting dust in their world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So things like that definitely molded me to like pay attention and get a better understanding of what works for you and what doesn't. And what are you chasing? Are you still chasing that record deal? Or you rather, make your own path? And that's what I chose, my own path.
You're absolutely right. And it's something that a lot of people don't think about unless you're in the entertainment industry. We just
Yeah.
we take in what people give us. So we're a culture of we pop music, pop culture, and whatever they're putting in front of us is what we take. However, like you said, when Prince came along, he actually changed the game. He changed the game.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
we have the people who are these record moguls, like, God forbid, Diddy, who took these artists. You maybe hear one song from them and then they're shelved. Like
Yeah.
they're under contract where they can't perform, they can't do entertainment. They're under his guise, right?
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
what's the trade-off? Is to do what you're doing,
Right. Make your own lane.
make your own
Yeah.
lane.
Yep, create your own lane and protect your work. Whatever paperwork you got to do to trademark. Like my name, Ty Blue, is trademarked. If whatever you're creating, and you want it to be something that you started that, and you want to welcome other artists to join in. But if you started a platform of any sort, I would always say to protect it and just make it your baby
Right.
and rock that baby all the way to the top.
Absolutely. Nurse
You
that
know?
baby and rock it.
Yeah.
How was the pandemic for you? Was that a turning point
Oh,
at all for you?
it was funny and interesting. That's a great question because the
Hmm.
pandemic hurt. It definitely hurt. I was on the brink of some really excellent things, had a lot of gigs set up, and all of them just went away. Like
Yeah.
hardly any of them came back. Some of my friends got some of their wedding gigs and corporate gigs and stuff like that back. I didn't. So money went bye bye.
Right.
Um, but I stayed in the winning energy. I stayed in the winning energy all the way, where I just said, well, I'm going to release my song and I'm going to make a video. But making the video was interesting. I was tight because I think big. I'm always going to think big. Like I think Michael Jackson big when it comes to videos, and I ain't nowhere near that level.
Right.
But I'm always keep those big thoughts, and I tell myself, find ways within your financial budget to still make it work. Where you get the same quality you were thinking, but not necessarily all the ideas becomes like you have to pay so many people. So I just learned to like look at it that way. But so when I did my first video, I put it out there. I didn't love it because I didn't get everything I wanted because all the studio spaces I wanted and just everything I wanted, everybody was trying to do it at the same time. You know what I mean? And
Right.
couldn't get
Yeah.
into this studio at this time. And then this director, I mean, not director, but the videographer wasn't available. And everything was just crisscrossing like this all the time. And I'm a person, I have like a perfectionist type of attitude, right? Which is great, but not great because you could be a perfectionist to a fault. And therefore, you're over critiquing yourself and holding yourself back. So that's something I have to work on. I'm still in progress with that. But I usually don't put out videos that I don't like or the lights is not good or this, that, the other, you know. But sometimes a friend who's another musician as well said you should put it out and just get better as you go. So during the pandemic, you know, it was very interesting because I didn't get everything I wanted for my first video. It was my first one. And I didn't get everything I wanted, but I stayed within my budget, got it out there, and I almost didn't put it out. But I listened to my friend. I said, I'm gonna put it out because I spent money on this. So let me just like, you know, put it out there anyway. And I wrote in in the caption of it, like this will give me a measuring point of where I started and where I'm going
Mm,
and just get better. And I was proud of
exactly.
myself that I did. It was a big step, trust
Yeah.
me,
That's
because that
good.
pandemic was working because things were closed but slightly opening. And but music is 24/7. You know what I'm
It is.
saying? We
Yep.
never stop. We never stop. It's a 24/7 situation. If you're really about it, you're passionate about it, everything you do, live and breathe is going to be what you love to do. Whether it's art, music, dance, whatever, it's going to be that. So I put it out there and it's funny to me, but at least I could measure where I started and where I'm going next. Because then you just got to keep outdoing yourself. You know what I mean? And I always say I'm not competing with anyone. I'm only competing with myself. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And we all have to remember that too. There's no competition. You know,
Right.
we're doing this for ourselves. We're artists, we're creatives, we're putting it out there, and we hope that people receive the message that we're putting out there. But more importantly, not everybody receives the same message. It could be
Right.
something different from me that, I put in my heart, and then that message is something different for the person next to me. So it's
Mhm.
all, the artistic freedom that we have to do this, but we're in control of
Mhm.
putting it out. And I commend you for that. Were you also
Yeah.
writing at that time too?
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely writing. And I always say my friends are my favorite musicians, my favorite artists. Like oftentimes when I ask who are your favorite artists, I've been saying more and more, and I always felt it anyways that my friends are because I'm inspired
Why is that?
by because we all, you know, because I get to see them live, you know, as often as possible. Some of the tickets might be expensive depending on what venue they are at, or not so expensive, or these on a free show, but I know them. And I know that they know what the struggle was to get to where they are, and then what the struggle is for me to get to where they are, and then some. You know, we get to share. And I played with some of my friends. Like I like to record with a live band, so my friends are like awesome genius musicians that like are they're playing around the world, but then I feel like not enough people know about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
This
so
is
but
exactly
yeah,
why I do the show. This is exactly why I do the show. And this is exactly why One Mic Nite started, because I'm an
mm,
artist who's in love with artists, with the
yes,
independent
absolutely.
artists. And I know the struggle, so I decided to create a show, my live series, to put up other artists because I'm in love with art. I'm a
Yeah.
singer. That's not my forte, but I love singing. I, enjoy the craft. I enjoy watching people sing and do
Hmm.
amazing things. I'm an actor. I
Hmm.
love watching people act because I know what it takes to act you know
Absolutely.
so you get it, you fall in love with you're passionate about the art. So i'm
Yes.
i'm right there with you. The people that are my friends are my favorite artists.
Yep.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially because you know them.
You know
You
them
also
and you
you know
support them.
yeah.
It's the
And it's
support.
inspiring because sometimes when you see them, well, most of the time, all the time, when you see them do their thing and they're growing, we're watching each other grow and we know that each other are great people with great talent. And there's always room for growth. You know, you could be really
Absolutely.
good, but then you got to go from good to great, then from great to awesome, you know? So it's levels to this. And it's great to watch our friends do it.
That's right. Let's talk about your music because you said you're an eclectic singer and songwriter.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tell us about some of the music. I know your music. I was going through Apple Music today and it's whew, it's really a range of different things.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes, I'm inspired by a lot of different things. I grew up an eclectic kid. Like I grew up listening to rock music. I grew up listening to funk. Well, funk, I can say I grew up listening to funk. I ended up stumbling upon funk when there was a band in the West Village doing funk night. And that was when the Village Underground was a spot that people, you know, musicians would play
Yep.
and had an open mic and different bands. And there was like this old school band that, dudes just playing funk music, and I would just hear all these different songs. Like I'm in love with the bass. I'm studying the bass, and so I like anything that had a driven bass line and all that. I'm like, wow, that sounds so dope. And I was learning about funk. So this was like not that long ago, but it's been some time now that I've definitely immersed in funk music and the culture of it, the sound of it, and I love it. And the Betty Davis and learning about her and other women that grew up in her time and telling me
Hmm.
about her and just the sassiness of it all and just like in your face. And then the white girl Tina Marie, like like I just fell in love with it. I'm like, I love this. So when you actually hear some like hip hop artists that dive into like funk samples, they use samples, I'm like, well, I want to do this, but I want to do it with a band. And like, and you can add different elements on top of it. And that's the whole how would I say, that's the whole challenge of when you're an eclectic artist, where you have your foundational sound and how you build on it and make it have that edge or twists and turns and still have a pulse and keep the people engaged is the challenge, because you got to make it work. And some people
Right.
will get it and some people won't. But that's fun, because at the end of the day, if you keep in mind that there's an audience for everybody, someone will dig your sound, And I got really good reviews on one of my songs, which is titled Occasionally. I got really good reviews on that. It was interesting to see how it all plays out.
It is because I was trying to think, and there really is no comparison to anyone out there. But you give a little at times, a little Tina Turner because it's rock,
Mm.
and she had some soul, but you're much more soulful in your delivery. You're
Ooh,
also
I love Tina.
hypnotizing in your presence because I've seen you on stage in your presence. So I think a lot of times that's what pulls people in too, is your stage presence is drawing. It draws people in. So,
Mhm.
but I've seen you in the zone, and you really, yeah, it's really something. It's really, really something.
Thank you. Thank you so
Where do
much.
you come up with the, how do you write your songs?
Sometimes it starts in my head,
Hmm.
and I just start Bobby McFerrin. Bobby McFerrin with all the sounds. I swear I'm Biz Markie or Bobby McFerrin, one of them. I just start doing the Dougie Fresh, whatever. Just start doing that in my head. Sometimes it's a mumble of a melody, and then eventually comes into words. Sometimes I could, experience life, or I'm talking with some friends. My songs are often about things that I go through, but always, not always, but also something that friends go through. So when someone's sharing with me what they're going through, whether it's on their place of employment or with their man or their girlfriend, I take it in as gata, and like, how would I write about that to be something that expresses their emotion right now in this situation? So that's how I go about doing that. So it starts with a melody. It's sometimes someone will have a really dope track. And I'm like, ooh, can I write to that? Is that free? So it could go either way. I try to figure out how do I write best. And I think if I get a dope track, it would drive me to just like write, you know,
Hmm.
a little faster. But when I start off with my head, sometimes I get a full song that way, and sometimes it just bits and pieces.
So is the track, do you get tracks first or do you get the do you do the words first or does it there's
Uh,
no.
it's rare that I get tracks. I mean, I used to coordinate with people and have tracks,
Mhm.
and see and like listen to their tracks. But oftentimes, I don't always find what I'm looking for. So that's how I graduated to learning that my niche is also singing with a live band. Because once
Gotcha.
I started doing that in my teens, I'm like, this is it. But I definitely did the track thing and did demos and stuff like that. But I just graduated to learning that Thai Blue works better with a band. I like movement. I don't like stuff that's loopy. And I remember when I did a demo a while back with this manager that's in the industry, it was a loopy track. And anytime I was building my chords, like vocal harmonies and building my chords, he was like, "You're doing too much." I'm like, wow, I'm
Mm.
trying to make the song move a little bit because it was so loopy and boring. So to me, anyway. But I think when I played this to my friends, they were like, "Oh, this is dope." It wasn't mastered or mixed yet, but the idea of what I was doing with my voice vocally and building these chords made it pop. It didn't make it so like, just one flat line. So I don't do tracks too much, but I welcome it. And
Hmm.
sometimes if people give me a track, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have a band play it.
Okay.
Because I
Right.
just love that element of live music. So
Live shows. So I want to hit you with a little something because I like this track. And this, I think, was a collaboration you did. Or maybe it wasn't. You tell me. I can grow in love with you. really open up to you, experience a whole new happy with you. Hey, and most of all, you're someone I can trust, and that's what's up.
Yeah.
Trust. Love
Hmm.
that song. Where did
Thank
that
you.
come?
Thank
How
you.
did that come about?
Because,
I'm
the
smiling
one
from ear to ear. This was like this one really spoke to me.
yeah, a lot of people really, really got attracted to that song, and I'm grateful for it. And it caused some people to think as well, because sometimes when I do that song live, I would ask people, how many of you guys are in love? And they all would clap. And I said, well, do you trust the person you love? Not
Mm.
trying to cause no problems, but
Right,
just saying,
right.
like, a lot of people are in love and the whole happy feeling of what it is to have your boo thing and all that, but do you trust them? Then people are like, good question, And I'm like, that's what solidifies the joint. That's what solidifies the
Right.
love. Why would you want to be with somebody you ain't really trusting like that? I always say, if you don't trust me, don't be with me.
There you go. See?
I give you my word. I just give me your word face value. We just rock with that. Anybody slips up, we talk it out, see if we can work it out. If not, we can go our separate ways, maybe we're as friends or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's important to trust.
Most
Trust is
important.
a small word that gets overlooked many, many times
Absolutely. Most
in
important
every
thing.
facet.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, I said most important. Most important.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the foundation. It's the floor of the house. Can't
Hmm.
build a house on love, but you can build it on trust.
That's right.
Yeah.
So nowadays, are you doing shows? I think you just had a show recently, in fact, didn't you?
I did something
A
briefly
little.
in what is that? That was Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. It was at this place called Locum. So I did something there. And it was like loungy kind of vibe. They have dinner or whatever. So I did some like covers and things like that. And people ate dinner, and then eventually when they want to get up and dance, you kind of get them on the dance floor. And that was cool. So that was like the last public thing I did. Most of my gigs tend to be more on the private side, whether it's like a membership club or a wedding or a bar mitzvah or something corporate like that. So that's great, but because of the money is
The
better
money,
there. But
yeah.
then on the public side, your friends are like, "When you performing?" I'm like, "Tomorrow, but you can't come because it's a private event." You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's it.
How do you handle the business side of it all? Or do you handle it yourself, or do you have a manager? I mean, I know because like we were talking about the pandemic, that's when a lot of things shifted. Like we started handling our own business. We started booking our own shows. We had to, you know,
Mhm.
do things for ourselves and learn the business a lot more because we're putting ourselves out there. So we have
Right.
to schedule, we have to know the business end of it. If we have an LLC or a company, we have to learn how to
Hmm.
do the taxes. We have to learn how to do all those things that go along with it. Are you,
Absolutely.
yeah, are you doing that, or was that something that happened for you during the pandemic?
Well, yes. I had Blue Entertainment, which is my music management company. I had that since 2009. So
Okay.
I've been rocking with that for a while. And then sometimes I either hire people and we do our thing, or I have my own thing, or I'm a part of someone else's situation and they can write the check out to Blue or Blue Entertainment. So it works that way, and I do my taxes accordingly towards tax time. So that's how I've been rocking with that. So I've always had that.
Okay.
So it's been the way I did things. But yeah. Mhm.
Do you feel like the music has changed a little bit over the years, and what direction do you see? That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded
Where
question.
where do you
Music
see,
today.
yeah, where do you see your type of music fitting in? If it
So
fits in.
yeah, music today definitely has changed. To be really honest, I don't listen to the radio for the reasons that the way it has changed doesn't appeal to me, which makes a full circle back around to if it doesn't feed your soul or your energy or your mindset, then leave it alone. And that's what I have done. I like a few songs here or there. Like I like Anderson .Paak and I like Bruno
Mhm.
Mars.
Right.
This
Shout
is
out to my
dope.
mom because she loves them too. My mom loves, she will not stop talking about
Yeah.
Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak.
Yes, exactly. So like when I do like more like R&B-ish type of vibes, it's like them because Bruno, you see all them with the band because
Yeah.
Anderson .Paak can play the drums. So that speaks to me. I love the Roots, I love
Yeah.
them. So that's more my vibe. But listening to today's music, I'm not too thrilled. I mean, I've always loved Kanye. I love what Kendrick Lamar expresses. There's some people here or there,
Hmm.
but for the most part, if you ask me what's today's latest song, I couldn't tell you by
Right.
whoever, because it's just not my bag. But Erica Badu is gonna always be my girl. Yeah, I just cling more to that side of things.
Right.
And but I love, and I mean, like again, my friends are my favorite artists because I know this wonderful collection of hip hop artists, and they call themselves legendary ciphers.
Hmm.
And they're like a whole new level of hip hop because it's not profane, it's not degrading. It's you could tell these men and women. There's some women in there that's dope with the rap as well. But they
Right.
read really deep things, and they read stuff that feeds the soul and stuff that's scientific and stuff that's just like, and the way they put things together. They're on that Kendrick Lamar level and so on and so forth, where they just know how to put these words together and make it rhythmically bounce and just like have you rocking and have you like, oh, that was dope,
Right.
like, and it's
Conscious
amazing.
hip hop.
So yeah, conscious
Yeah.
hip hop
Yeah.
indeed, and then some, and this is amazing watching freestyle and come up with this stuff off the top of their head, which I'm bad at freestyling all the way, but I support their events as much as possible because it helps me get into it, but I'm always just wowed by them. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I get in there, I'm gonna get in there more and more in the circle and do a little hook or something because but those guys are absolutely extraordinary. So when I say my friends are my favorite artists, I think of guys like them. I'm not listening to the hip hop on the radio. I'm like, you guys are it. Don't lose this. Like,
Right.
keep this. Don't let that
That's a
industry culture
special
go get
thing.
it.
That's a special
Very
thing because
special.
the matter of intelligence that you have to be able to, verbally execute those lines and, make it make sense and tell a story and,
And
make it,
rhyme.
yeah, it's pretty incredible. That's
It
incredible.
is. It is. It is. It definitely is.
Now you do a little thing here visually. You have style. Is there something that we're leading into? Is there something that you do also in the style and fashion?
Oh yes, I love styling. I style mostly myself, but when I go out to different stores or boutiques, some people do like to stop me and ask me my opinion on what they're looking at in the store because they look at me as a fashionista kind of girl. So I love styling. I love representing stuff that's made by us for us. So I'm wearing like, I got some stuff on by um uh what's her name? Candice. She's amazing. She does the rings. This is uniquely
Mm,
wired. This is a Cobra Tribe. She does this. And Taji, adorned by Taji, she did the air cuff in my frames. So I love
beautiful.
these girls. They keep me flawless. They keep me
They
just
keep you
fluffing, honey. I love
styled
it.
up. Yeah, I
I love it.
see.
Yes,
I see.
yes, yes, yes. So I just love it. So yeah. I love it. Love it.
So
Love it.
before we got on, you mentioned a little something about maybe taking a trip somewhere. Is there
It's
a
more
little,
like a move,
a
transitioning.
move?
A
Okay.
move, yeah, a
Tell
move to
us.
the motherland. I'm
Okay.
looking and aiming towards South Africa and looking to make that happen before the end of this year. So I'm packed up right now. My place looks crazy, and I'm a neat freak, so it's driving me crazy to see all these boxes. But just packing stuff up, and also going to be selling some stuff and giving some stuff away to to Salvation Army, thrift store, so on and so forth. And yeah, I'm excited because I've never been.
Hmm.
And I was supposed to go twice, and it was going to be a group trip. But sometimes with group arrangements, people life be life, and so they have to fall out of the plans.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not going to let anyone stop me anymore. I have like a connection where I can actually go there, get the lay of the land, someone can show me around, and just different things, and just finding different ways to like make my stay comfortable and useful and purposeful rather. And
Why
I was
South
looking to
Africa? Why there?
I'm starting with there because that's where one of my connects is located.
Hmm.
That can give me the lay of the land. I try to go where I know people first because I'm doing so much right now, and I'm also doing my best to learn the language. But they also speak English there, so I want to be able to like be comfortable enough to speak and have
And
that be what
navigate
that is.
yourself around. Yeah, yeah, for
Right,
sure.
and
Yeah,
you got to be careful anywhere you go, of
absolutely.
course.
But yeah.
But just want to be around people that I know. But I do plan once I get in the motherland, I want to actually, go to other places. So I do try to like learn different languages here and there, just so that when I go there, at least I know the basics to
Hmm.
get around. But I need to be around a cohort of people that that I trust, that will be a safety net for me, and we just kind of move together. So I'm doing it as cautiously as possible, but because Africa is beautiful. I love the people that I met here that's from South Africa and from different parts of Africa, including Nigeria, Ghana. I mean, we had great vibes and connections. So they make me want to go to their home. because it's my home too. I have Senegalese roots, so I definitely want to just like go and explore Senegal as well. I love the food, so but yeah, I'm also looking to start my own nonprofit organization, and I would love to like do a teaching artist thing over there. So I'll still be doing music as an artist, and I still will be recording and releasing stuff. And I definitely love the Afro beats. So I'm
Yeah,
about to infuse that
for
in
sure, for
some funky
sure.
Afro beats. So yes, I have plans and purpose that I'm looking to entertain there because I already know I have a purpose, and I just want to plant my purpose elsewhere. And I'm just tired of the USA. It's just, so it's like it's good to just like cleanse your soul and move on and start anew.
Oh my
And
gosh.
South Africa is like South Africa, what I understand is like Brooklyn and Manhattan all like kind of combined together, but with a different kind of natural vibe, a natural foundational vibe. Yeah.
I like
So
that. I like
yeah.
that. A lot of people have a fear. A lot of people have a fear of starting over and picking up and, starting new, cleansing, like you said,
Hmm.
cleansing your soul, cleansing your energy and creating a whole new life. A lot of people have a
Yeah.
fear. Where does that fearlessness come from for you?
Oh, that's a great question because the answer is I don't believe that God blessed us with the spirit of fear. That's not,
Mm,
he didn't build us, rather. I would say he didn't build us with the spirit of fear. So that's another spirit that can go someplace else. I'm not going to entertain fear. It's okay to be cautious and have your concerns, but if you just let something put fear in you, then you will not achieve what you're looking for.
you
And
got that
this
right.
thing, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
things I'm always overcoming. I'm a work in progress. Like, some things I might withhold or not do, choose not to do, like it's like, oh, Ty, go for it. Sometimes I go for it. A lot of times I go for it, and other times I don't, and I should. So people might say that as a fear. It might just be a shyness or overthinking. We as artists can be very critical of ourselves, overthink things sometimes, and you don't jump in enough things sometimes. So I jump in things for sure. I definitely take risks. I wouldn't say I'm not the person that does that. But when you get burnt, and you've been burned sometimes, in previous situations, you just learn what it means to be more cautious.
Right.
And yeah. So I wouldn't call that fear. Because so anyone saying to me, well, you were scared to do this, you were scared. I wouldn't say you were scared or fearful. I just want to be careful,
Right.
and then sometimes I end up regretting that I didn't jump on it. And then sometimes I don't, you
Yeah,
know?
you're absolutely right. We definitely have to be cautious, but fear is something that we put on ourselves. It's
Yep.
like the fear, if I'm fearful of stage fright before I go on stage, it's something that I'm
Hmm.
putting on myself. So why not take that energy and put it into my performance? Because I've already had the training, I already know the lines. What are you afraid of? Just go do it,
Right. Hmm.
And also if we don't take a risk, we keep getting the same thing. No
That's
risk, no
exactly right.
reward. Complacency
Exactly.
leads to the same thing. We got to
Yep.
take the risk. This is a
Yep.
risk you can take, to spark another lane in your career, to introduce
Yeah.
people more to who you are and get to enjoy your beautiful energy, and enjoy the gifts and talents that you have from the universe.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah, for
Absolutely
sure.
right on that.
Yes.
Well,
Thank
good for
you.
you. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Mm.
hopefully, we're going to put a couple of clips into here so people can hear you sing or see you perform, unless you want to do a little something, just like a little acapella right now. If not, that's
Oh,
okay too. I'm not putting you on the spot, but if you want to, go for it.
okay. So I think a little excerpt from what you mentioned earlier from Trust. I can grow in love with you. Hey, really open up to you. Yeah. Experience a whole new happy with you. Hey, and most of all, you're someone I can trust, and that's what because everybody knows the heart of the man is not who you can trust. Hey, hey, without the trust, show love, it'll turn us to love. And you know this, yeah.
There you have it. The bold, the beautiful Ty Blue.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much for sharing a moment of your time because time is the most valuable thing we have. So I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on One Mic Night. Let everybody know how we can get in touch with you and find more music and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes. Well, I have my website, ThaiBlueEntertainment.com, but it's down for the moment because I'm revamping it. But they can also follow me on Instagram, and that would be at the original Thai Blue. That's the original TYBLUE. So they can find me
There
there.
you go. Make
Yeah.
sure you follow her on the original Thai Blue on Instagram. Check out the music on Spotify, Apple Music, the website,
Amazon, all
and
that title.
Amazon.
Oh,
Everywhere, everywhere. Just type it in, you'll find it. Definitely
yes.
check out some of her visuals on YouTube. I checked them out. Good stuff there. It
Thank you.
is.
Working on building more.
There you go. Thank you for
Yes.
joining me for One Mic Night. This turned into a One Mic Night artist session. How about that? Because you gave us a little something, something.
Yes.
But
Thank
please,
you.
we'll look forward to more of you in the future. The show is called One Mic Nite, ONEMICNITE. Make sure you follow us, join the Facebook community, post your flyers and everything on there. My name is Marcos Luis. Slide on into the DMs, MARCOSLUIS. 18 years of One Mic Nite, talk, live, pod. That's the hashtag. Thank you guys all for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.